All right, join us now from Always a Brave, Jimmy Gavin. Jimmy, welcome to the show.
Appreciate it, Andrew. Thanks for having me, man.
Jimmy, all over Twitter, everyone's been dying for more Always a Brave people. So who better to call than the guy that I go way back with, back to Steve Pratt's and Pratt's Rats and stuff like that back in Chicago. Andrew knows a little bit about your story. Obviously, I know your story. Before we dive into TBT stuff, for the people that don't know, can you give us a quick walkthrough of your incredible journey to get to where you are right now playing in the TBT?
Yeah, what's up, Joey? It's good to see you, man. Yeah, like you said, I started out working out with Steve after high school. Didn't play in high school. Ended up going to school for a year. Lost my brother in a car crash. Ended up working out. Tried out at some schools. Actually, Pratt and I drove out to Vermont. We had like a unofficial tryout set up. We like go to the gym. The doors are locked. The coach was like, yeah, it's not going to happen. So that then went all around. Ended up getting to play at Bradley after a tryout, and had a surgery that year. So I don't know, just the story kind of kept going. You want me to keep going, or?
Yeah, man, it's a great story. It's worth it 100%.
Yeah. So I was at Bradley actually. That was like my first year of basketball. And when I had like a surgery in mid-season, and it wasn't like they were forcing me out or anything. I wasn't even on a scholarship at the time. So just there was a lot of good players there. I just didn't think I would get enough minutes to really have a chance to like get out there and play. So I set up a couple tryouts at D2s and an NAIA school out in California, and ended up clicking with Wisconsin Parkside. They already had like a great team, but they just were looking for like one more guy. And so I felt like that was the move. So went over there, played on two great teams, and ended up turning that into going to Winthrop University and played for Pat Kelsey in South Carolina, and played with a really solid team down there. So that's kind of how I went through college basketball.
And I'll summarize it for Jimmy because he's been very humble about this. And I told Andrew, like, you're one of the best players that I ever worked out with, ever played with. And the man didn't play high school basketball, and then he scored, 42 points against NC State in your senior year of college?
38, yeah.
38, exactly. I mean, like, it's just an all-time story, and it's really what the TBT is all about. It's these guys who are incredible basketball players that you've never heard of getting a chance to play on the biggest stage. So I guess the follow-up question to that is, how did you get involved with the TBT this year?
Yeah, I mean, for Bradley, really, Bobby Parker is the man that runs the show. He's been connecting all the guys, and he was generous and invited me to play. And I think this year's team is cool because it's like a couple different generations of Bradley guys, So hopefully we got the right mix.
It's kind of funny because, the team name is Always a Brave. And you were, from what you just told me, not really there for too long.
Barely a Brave.
Yeah, so you were barely a Brave, but always a Brave. So that's pretty cool. Are you excited to get back on the court and rep the Bradley colors?
Yeah. I mean, even though I didn't play there for that long, like it's still like a memorable spot just because it's like they gave me a chance to get started, and you can't get going without getting started. So and the guys up there, everyone was talented and stuff, and the fan base was awesome. Like I always liked it there. I just felt like business wise it was best for me to go somewhere else. But I'm excited to get back and play for those guys.
Absolutely. And a lot, I would say Bradley is one of the alumni teams that's been a mainstay in TBT, yet the fans don't quite understand how good of a team they've had year in and year out. Who are some of the guys that you're most excited to play with?
I mean, obviously the guys like Marcellus and Mr. 40, Tony Bennett and those guys, and with Rough Coach, and those guys are all like legends of the program. They were involved with like the runs through the tournament and everything like that. I think probably a key player or the key player for our team probably will be Dante. I think he's a really talented guy. He's like kind of like a wing, 3-4, can guard like 3-4 positions, rebound, can like impact a game. You don't even have to drop any plays for him and stuff like that. So I feel like he's a key guy to look out for on our team.
You got to have one of the most unique basketball reference pages I've ever seen. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. It's only got, the D1 years. 2012, 2013, Bradley, 1.3 points per game. And then 15-16, Winthrop, 18.7 points per game. That's the craziest. And obviously, Joey and I know that there were schools in between there, but Basketball Reference only has the D1 schools. That's a crazy – people are probably like, wait, what? This guy didn't play for 3 years and improved? They probably think you're like went to the Army and like bulked up and got huge, and then you came back and dominated. So hats off to you for having the coolest Basketball Reference page that I've ever seen.
Appreciate it. I'm glad it wasn't 18 and then 1 senior year.
Yeah. I mean,
that's Jonathan Simmons. And it's fine if he hears that, the former Spur and Magic player that's now in TBT. He went reverse.
Yeah, made it to the NBA though. So
yeah, I would. The kind of next point that I want to bring up is the fact that yes, you played for Bradley, and that's your connection to Always a Brave, but you're also from Illinois. So
yeah, exactly.
What is the the opportunity to it's been years since you've really had a chance to play in front of your friends and family like you're going to be able to here in a couple weeks. What's that opportunity like for you? Obviously, the Bradley fans are awesome, but also to just be home. What's that? I mean, how can you even put that into words? Like, I can barely even put it into words.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's definitely different, When you start playing overseas, no one really cares, honestly. Like, unless they're like a, super basketball fan like you guys or our guy Fuse or, somebody who really follows international hoops, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it'll be cool. It'd be cool to play in America, and hopefully my family will be able to catch a game. They haven't really seen – they've probably seen, I don't know, 2 to 5 games in the last 5 years. You know what I mean? So that'll be crazy.
You guys are the 7 seed in the home regional. Are you underseeded?
No, I think 7 feels dangerous, I mean, honestly, the thing is there's so many good teams, and you just got to be in the mix and just play well. It's a single game elimination. So I think you just got to go in and play every game like it's a final.
You got a tough pull. I mean, first round you got peanut butter tubby time, and if you win that game, you're probably playing House of Pain, and that right away is the other regionals. The top 2 host teams don't even play until Dayton. And this is right off the back, round of 32. Are you looking forward to a potential matchup with the other host team in House of Pain? A team that, if I remember correctly, you potentially played with.
Yeah, I think the first game we play is they got a lot of quality players for sure. So I think that would be a huge battle, definitely. And I think it's just good to focus on that in a single elimination tournament. I mean, who cares who you play in the second round if you're watching the second round at home, But obviously Bradley, Illinois would be cool. They got a lot of great players. They arguably had one of maybe the best team in the tournament last year. So I'm sure they'll be back and ready to go.
And Andrew kind of alluded to it. Is it true that our guy Mike Latulip was trying to get you to play with them last year?
We had a conversation about it through our guy Fuse, and he was just seeing. I think last year was it was difficult recruiting guys, with the COVID thing and going on and stuff like that. So when I was leaving Greece, when they shut the world down, I had like a conversation with them, and I really didn't even know that TBT was gonna be able to pull it off. But I mean, congrats to them, because it seemed like it was a great event, and there was like almost like 0 problems, right? I mean, yeah. It went pretty smooth. So,
all right, so you're a big time scorer. How much do you know about the Elam Ending?
I know a lot. I think it's exciting. Like, just as a basketball fan, I mean, for TV, it's sick because almost every game you got like end of game. Every game has to be a game winner. Pretty much. And I would say I think it's a big reason why the tournament's been successful. It just there's not that many games that aren't exciting down the stretch. So
you're probably one of the top candidates to score all 8 points in the Elam Ending. You think you're capable of doing something like that?
I mean, maybe 2 threes and a fast break layup. You never know.
That is 8.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
Jim, I know you haven't been able to pay much attention to the TBT just because, as we were talking about, it's hard to catch all the games. Are there any guys that – forget the bracket, forget who you're going to play. Are there any guys in the tournament that you would just be, really, really juiced up to play against, whether it's an alumni team or specific guys?
I thought Mike Dom played really well last year, and my guy Malcolm Hill as well. Going off the Illinois team. I know Malcolm said that he's not doing it this year, but I don't know. I think I'm just excited to play with our team. I feel like the key to these things is just got to have some chemistry. Because no matter how many players you got, if you don't have any chemistry, you're probably going home early. So I'd say I'm just excited to play.
So with all this name, image, likeness stuff that's going on, I'm going to take you back a few years. If you were in college, what would your slogan or little logo have been?
That's interesting. What my pops and I were talking about who's going to be the first guy showing up to games like Deion Sanders with the gold chains and the glasses and stuff like that, signing deals. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anyone would have wanted to sign me in college down in the Big South or D2 or something like that. But yeah, if Nike or Barstool or anyone wanted to write a check, I think I would have been interested for sure.
I mean, Andrew's got his own brand now, so he's got it going anyway. I wonder if I think I have my shirt somewhere right here, actually.
Do you?
Yeah, it's somewhere. I'm moving, so it's kind of a mess. So I'll have to find it and send you a picture. But Andrew, I'll talk to G2 and get you some stuff too, Andrew.
Yeah, I gotta get linked up.
Is that the name?
We have a brand called Uncharted that we are slowly growing over time, but we want to create make it into something that's just about how, everyone has a different journey through sports and stuff like that in life period, and just how we can learn from each other along the way. You know what I'm saying?
Do you want to sponsor a podcast?
Yeah, why not? What's your guys' asking prices? How many Lamborghinis do we have to send over?
For you, just one.
Send us a shirt.
Just a shirt. All right, just a shirt. That's
we'll actually share the shirt. Just send us one shirt. We'll cut it in half. Joey will wear one side and I'll wear the other.
A half shirt is definitely a reasonable asking price for sure.
Yeah, that's a great point that Andrew brings up. We can easily be bribed. Not that we wouldn't be rooting for you anyway, but we can be bribed into fandom. 100%.
Yeah. I gotta send Fran Schiller, one of those guys, a Chipotle card and maybe get some good press, during the games.
Oh, Fran, do you know Fran?
I've only met him one time, and I know James a little bit. Just seen him around in gyms and stuff like that, but they're great guys. Obviously they're crazy deep into hoops,
Yeah, and I don't know. We got to figure out who's calling your guys' game, because if Seth Greenberg's calling the game, that's our guy. We'll make sure that he gives you specifically good press, because, like I said before, the TBT loves a good story, and there's probably no better story than how you got to where you are in the TBT right now. So I think that they'll give you some good press for sure. They might not even need a bribe.
We need that.
Joey, I think we got to wrap this up with Jimmy the way we always do.
Yeah, Jim. So what we do on the show is, instead of asking you just a final question, we usually just turn the tables onto you. let you interview us and give you an opportunity to ask us any questions that you've been dying to ask us since we started this interview.
Okay. What would you say has been the most interesting thing that you've been learning about guys just since you've been obviously, you know, guys who both love basketball. What would you say is like the most interesting thing that you've learned about guys, especially guys who have been, you know, playing in Europe or just playing around the world? Like, do you guys have any interesting stuff?
I think it's pretty crazy that these guys are just in completely different time zones and stuff than their friends and family. Like, it's annoying for Joey and I to set up these interviews trying to figure out the time zones. I can't imagine what these guys are going through, you know, when their kids are only awake when they're asleep and stuff like that. So I've been kind of blown away that, like, they keep grinding it out and playing. Like, all these guys who are, you know, signing another year. So, I mean, I'm not – before TBT, I definitely wasn't as plugged into the overseas, you know, aspect of post-college hoops.
Yeah.
I think a few things jump out to me. One thing that actually, funny enough, Fran Fraschilla always says is, like, yeah, you remember these guys playing in college, right? Like, for me, like Aaron Kraft, John Diebler, all the Ohio State guys, like, I remember them in college. And then they come back to the TBT, and they're, like, 10 times better than they were in college. Like, people don't understand, like, how incredibly great of basketball players there are that aren't in the NBA. Like, people don't understand that plenty of guys in the EuroLeague, for example, are good enough to play in the NBA. They just don't, for whatever reason, whether it's opportunity or timing, it just doesn't work out. I think that's one thing that stands out to me. And also what you were saying earlier and what everybody says when we ask them about playing in front of fans, like, besides the coronavirus, obviously, people are excited to play in front of fans. These guys are also so juiced up because they never get to play in America. They never get to play in front of American fans, in front of fans that know them really well, in front of their family. I think that's a consistent theme that these guys are just so jacked up to be, you know, to have the feeling like they had playing with their boys in college. You know, like, they're just so excited about that. And in most cases, these guys are putting on the alumni jerseys again. Like, I would die to be able to wear an Ohio State jersey again. You know? Like, it's just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Kind of piggybacking off of what you said, Joe, one last thing, and then Jimmy, we'll get back to you because this is your interview. But I'm always kind of nervous to, like, reach out to people and ask them to come on because I feel like they've done 400,000 interviews from when they were sophomores in high school to now. But all the guys are so cool when they come on. Like, they'll be hard to text and communicate with, and I'll be like, Joe, I don't know how excited this guy is going to be for the interview. And then the interview starts, and they're like, all right, we're putting on a show. Like, got to make it a good interview. So I think it's cool that we get the most out of the guys, like even the older guys, like the Devendorfs from Syracuse, Boeheim's Army. Like, you know how many interviews that guy's done in his life? And still, every time he's on with us, it's the same energy, same, like, intensity and stuff. So I think it's cool. And it's kind of similar to what I said about the overseas, like, keep going. Like, they don't, like, use our interviews as an interview off where they can just kind of, like, mess around. Like, I think
they're all incredible. They're all incredible guys. Like, they all, like, genuinely are very, very nice to us. They don't have to give us the time of day. Like, we're nobody's in the grand scheme of thing, you know, and they absolutely do.
Yeah. No, I think you guys made some great points. I mean, even from my perspective, I mean, going to Europe is really a war, like, week to week, you know, just to survive. Because the intensity is so high in the practices and in the games. And I think, like, even the first 3 years I played didn't go exactly how I wish they would have, didn't progress as fast as I would have liked them to. And I think it's like, damn, like what am I even really doing this for? You know what I mean? And then at that point you have to make a decision. And I was just like, I would rather just battle for something that I love than to do anything else, you know? Yeah. And until I lose that feeling, like that's what I'm going to do. And I think that's kind of the bond between everyone that's still playing, is once you've just been through that many battles, you know, I think it kind of at certain moments it takes away your passion for the game, but then when you really think about it, it actually just increases it, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, you leave college thinking you know everything there is to know about basketball, And day one over there, they basically tell you that we invented basketball, and you're about to start playing a new game. You know what I mean? So it's great, man. I love basketball now more than I ever have, and I hope it's something I can be doing for the rest of my life.
Something else that I have realized, and it's not with talking to guys, but it's more like what I've seen. And Joey, I think you'll agree with this. It's like the guys who have played in the NBA kind of don't really give a shit, which is interesting to me. Like, it's the guys who, like, either were summer league or had like a little bit, like the high draft picks, or like the guys who had good NBA success for a little while, with the exception of Joe Johnson last year anyway. Like, those guys feel like they have nothing left to prove. It's the guys who are like still at this point, year 7 as a pro, trying to prove something still. And I think that's what's cool about TBT is like some of these NBA guys get shown up. Like last year, the money team had like 5 NBA guys, and Herdback comes in, and it's just overseas guys that are like, we need to prove that we belong with these guys. So I think that's really cool about not just our interviews, but just TBT as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a battle out there. I don't know. Guys might feel different when they have $200 million in the bank,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easily – it's very clear that there are not all guys, but some guys in the NBA who do it because they feel like they have to. And then every single guy overseas plays basketball because they love to play basketball. It's like –
yeah, I mean, guys are still trying to make money, though, It's
right. I mean, it's a balance.
Definitely a job. I don't think it's fair to, like, throw shade at the NBA guys, because I think the NBA is kind of, like, overly hated for a reason. It's like, it's not like the NBA is easy.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that the NBA 82 game schedule, like, I think that's its own grind. And I think everyone's trying to make money, and I think those guys do love the game. I think everyone loves the game, but I think it's just
there's
definitely
like everything.
Yeah, there's just different approaches for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like a clear difference between the guys who, like, 3 months before TBT start put out a announcement video that they're playing and they're never going to play, and then the Joe Johnsons who, like, he's not playing TBT because he's playing Big 3, but he just wants to play. Like, that guy's
loves it. Yeah,
and we keep going back to him because he's the prime example. Like, he'll play, and I feel like a guy like DeMar DeRozan who plays in the Drew League every summer, like, when he's done in the NBA, maybe it won't be TBT. Who knows what will be going on by then? But, like, he will be playing in some league.
Jamal Crawford, too.
Exactly.
He'll be playing until he's 70,
I don't know how he is not in TBT. Joey,
yeah, we're the NBA this year.
Yeah.
Probably should have been in NBA.
Joey, maybe we'll get a raise if we can convince Jamal Crawford to come
Yeah,
play.
that's who you need to go get.
Yeah. We should make our own team of just guys we think should be in. Like I said,
you think should play?
Crawford. Yeah.
If there's a Seattle team, he'll be in.
Yeah, Seattle's got a
Like
lot of
Washington
for
team.
sure. Yeah.
He'd play. Not Washington University.
There you go. There's the next idea. That's the pitch for next summer.
Jimmy, you want to be our GM?
Yeah. Why not?
No, we'll have you play. You're better suited as a player. You can play. You'll
if
play.
we have Jamal Crawford and LeBron and a few of those guys, I could be the GM and just collect the check. I'll be a part of that and collect the check.
Yeah, you'll play if LeBron's on the team. That's smart of you.
Yeah. If we get LeBron and Kawhi and a few of those guys to get out there. What is the rule? You can't be actively in the NBA to play?
I think you can't be under contract in the NBA. I think that's an NBA rule.
Oh, okay.
And I think it has to do I don't know this. It might not be an NBA rule, but it might have I think it has to do with getting paid, because like the Drew League and those leagues, all those pro-ams, they don't get paid. So you might not be able to be in a simultaneously like league where you're kind of signed or whatever. But then a lot of these overseas teams, I'm sure you've dealt with this too. They're like, if we sign you.
Yeah, I mean they don't love it either, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, whichever team is paying they really don't want you to do anything else. But,
right.
Which makes sense, I guess.
It makes sense. Well, Jim, do you have any other questions for us before we let you go?
No, I'm excited. Hopefully we'll see you guys later on. I know you said you're covering it in Columbus to start.
Yeah, we'll be in Columbus and West Virginia, and then in the finals for Dayton. So it's funny that we're not going to Illinois, being 2 Illinois guys, but that's just the way she goes. So we'll see you in Dayton though, so it'll be irrelevant.
Yeah, for sure. I hope you guys have a good time out there in the tournament, and appreciate you having me on as well.
Absolutely. We'll see you in Dayton. We'll just speak it into existence. See you in
All
Dayton.
right. One at a time, baby.
Say
Yes.
it. Say it for us. See you in Dayton.
See you in Dayton, fellas.
Yeah, there we go.
Thanks, Jim. Good seeing you, buddy.
Have a good night.
You too.
Yeah.
See you guys.